Okay, and we should be live. I'm just doing a final check to make sure that all the audio is working. Could you speak up, bro?
Shouldn't you test that before you go? Shouldn't you test that before you go on stream?
You're expecting quality control from me. Oh, ye of...
No, at least make sure shit works before we start.
Yeah, everything seems to be working
Not
this time.
quality.
Okay, I may have upped my volume a little too high there. There we go.
Oh boy, we're back.
Back again. Yeah.
All right, it's time to continue this safari of stupidity, isn't that right?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it is.
You want to do the intro, or you?
I think it's your turn, actually.
Doesn't matter at this point. We've done this so many times.
Yeah.
So, ayo, and welcome to Would You Waifu? The talk show where we talk about monsters all shapes, sizes, species, varieties, and other whatnot you can think of. We discuss their biology, cultures, and other stuff of the weekly monsters. Well, monster girls. Specifics are not our thing here.
We may pretend to know science, but we're not adept at it.
Well, I'm Blackout, and over there is Scamper.
Why, hello there.
It's his stream, so yeah. I had to introduce the host of the channel. It's kind of weird. Anyway.
Oh, now you bring that up.
I can do it whenever. Well, yeah. As you can see, we're just a couple of idiots with idiotic headcanons, even dumber arguments. Brain cells cannot be refunded at the end of the stream. Fair warning.
Yeah, we've made too many deals with FaZe to return any.
We owe them a couple, so we need to store. We need to store a few.
Yeah.
Well, this week we're talking about this one's gonna be another variety, but it's still gonna be part of variety. Insect Girls.
Yeah, this is one I specifically was interested in. Also, hello there, Achilles. I feel like
I'm not the biggest fan, but I'm willing to talk about it.
and I accept that. As was definitely the more hyped one, I could definitely understand why some people would not be into this. And I can also respect their flavors.
I don't hate insects. They're just annoyances in my eyes most of the time.
Haven't we spoken about rabbits before?
Well, I'm not like disgusted by them in most of the versions, but you get what I'm getting at, though.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna agree that insects are gonna be an acquired taste.
Like, if I see an insect chilling on a branch, I'm gonna leave it be. But if it's walking across my path, I'm stepping on it.
Oh, normally people would have to pay extra for that.
I know, right?
Man, the bugs are getting all the good deals.
Well, be sure to catch our last episode where we talked about we talked about some beast girls. They were the bears and the wolves, right?
Yep. I still find it funny what you came up for with the wolves. It just made sense.
The wolves.
For the family, yeah.
Yeah, we made them part of the mafia. If you want to learn more about that, go watch the last stream.
Oh. But yeah, compared to all the other beast girls that we've talked about on the safari, biologically speaking, these are definitely way more diverse than, let's say, a cat, a goat, a chupacabra.
Honestly, we could probably have a separate safari about insect girls, but we don't see the interest there to continue talking for that long.
Yeah, so we're just gonna pile them all up in a bunch. The biggest difference that insect girls will have... Oh, small disclaimer, we are including stuff like spiders, scorpions, centipedes, theoretically, into this mostly because if it's a bug type in Pokemon, I'm willing to talk about it here now. Because, honestly, it is, like, I understand that scientifically they're different, but why
They're
the
bugs.
need to?
There's a bug.
Yeah. If you look at it and say, oh, a bug, even if it has more than 6 legs, who actually cares? That's like,
If it has more than 4 legs, it's probably a bug.
yeah, like centaurs.
Yeah.
You know, I should have just added centaurs in this picture list just for shits and giggles to piss people off.
Technically, centaurs are insects, but that's another can of worms we will talk about on our rework episodes.
Yeah. Anyways, with Insect Girls, there's actually gonna be... Are we gonna go with 3 varieties or just stable it to 2?
I think we gotta do the 3 varieties because it's their bodies have to work differently for each 3 of them.
Yes, and the first group is actually the Centaur group. This would be the group with like mostly a humanoid torso and then an animalistic subbody. If you think of Arachne or Arachnera from Monster Musume, they would fall in this category.
And she popped up.
Anyways, the second category is more of the humanoid category. Basically, 2 legs to walk on, 2 main arms, and then an additional set of secondary arms. Most people tend to kind of pull them a choke and put both of them on the same segment, but realistically speaking, they would actually be more attached between your ribcage and your hips. And Blackout, would you like to talk about the third category?
Third type is going to be our flight type. Our insect girls that are capable of flights. Looking like moths and butterflies, bees can fall into that too as well.
Yeah. I kind of see them more falling into the second category, like humanoid, but
We can talk about that.
yeah.
But generally, the insects that are more capable of flight, they use flight as movement than their legs.
That is definitely true. Okay, so one thing that also is differentiated between insects and most, well, vertebrate animals, they don't really use their mouth or nose to breathe most of the time. They have like multiple ducts that they kind of use to take in the oxygen and exhale the, well, the
Air
waste
vents
products.
around their thorax, if I remember right.
Mostly the thorax, but they also have a couple, well, less around the other segments, but yeah. Speaking of which, how would it actually work with monster girls? Like, would they breathe with like a simple lung system like we're using, or do you think they would use the trachea system?
Again, since we're dividing them, I think it's going to be between the 3 cases. If we're talking about our basic insect girl, I think normal breathing. But if we're talking about our centaur, I can see thorax breathing.
Ah, yes, the butt inhale. But I could definitely see the logic behind it, considering a bigger body would need more resources to function properly, so additional ways to have an intake would definitely help.
Let's see. Antenna is probably going to be playing a big part in this conversations as well, I can see.
Yes, normally we have like the animal ears, but I do agree that an antenna is kinda a must for an insect girl.
It'll be the substitute for the ears, honestly.
Yeah.
This is case by case as well. Spiders don't have antennas.
That is... Yeah, that's technically true. I was thinking like... Wait, what do they have again? They have like a little sensory hairs most of the time.
Yeah.
And they use their web. Huh. Okay, so... what category would you like to talk about first?
I think we just start off with our basic humanoid insect girl, honestly.
The flightless variant, correct?
Yes, flightless.
Alright. Okay, so I'm just trying to think. A couple of
Because we get a baseline here, we can kind of alter that for our other categories as
Yeah.
well.
I'm trying to honestly think of an insect that would fit here that doesn't have wings.
Well, since we're doing the female variety for monster girls, ants would be fine, but I can also see those being centaurs as well.
Yeah, honestly, with considering how ants move, actually gonna put those closer to the centaur ones, considering they move around a lot, they need to lift more. I can assume that a centaur would have a higher
let's do-
limit on things they can pick up.
No, those have wings. A lot of insects have wings. is
Yeah, a
the thing.
lot of them. This is why I didn't really see
But
the...
they also, a lot of them don't use their wings too. They just use them to like enhance a jump or something. In most cases,
Yeah,
like I'm thinking like grasshopper. You can think of,
crickets.
yeah, where they use their wings to enhance their jump.
Yeah.
Not like true fright.
So, I definitely think that most insects would be definitely smaller than a regular human. It is like every time I try to make a point, like, oh, I think they're gonna be skinnier, or they're probably gonna be a little bit girthier than a human. But then I think like, because insects are so freaking varied. It's kind of difficult to think of them. So, limb-wise,
Let's see. Not all beetles have wings, right?
name a beetle without wings.
I'm trying to think of one. I don't know insects like that. Like really, ant came to my first thing because a common household ant you
Yeah.
find walking around.
Yeah, most of those don't have wings until it is a royal ant. Then she actually does have wings for her bridal flight.
Or a male ant can fly as well.
I thought it was only the female ones that got wings.
No, male ants get wings, I believe.
Ah.
Uh,
Okay. Okay. There are actually a couple things that I would like to establish along the board. Do you think that this category is gonna be their mouth? Do you think it's gonna be more humanoid, or do you think it's gonna be more segmented with mandibles and such?
What would be the point of a segmented mouth? Besides probably more consumption? Easier consumption, I should say.
It's also possible that the segmented bit would help with jaw strength.
Like, I'm fine with adding mandibles onto a mouth. I'm just wondering why we would segment the mouth part.
Honestly, considering how most insects eat, I think it might actually help with jaw strength, making certain things easier to break, like nuts, tree roots.
Well, we can just enhance the jaw, honestly, if we want jaw strength.
That is true.
Don't
So
know.
we're going with a more humanoid mouth then.
Yeah. Mandibles, I'm fine with mandibles.
Okay.
Honestly. Let's see, I had some things about our basic biology. Where are they? One thing I want to talk about, exoskeletons.
Uh-huh.
Like, how are we feeling on that? Like, is that kind of like with our beast girls where they're first taking up, we're gonna have the exoskeleton there?
Okay, so realistically speaking, it would make sense that for the majority they would actually have an exoskeleton.
Yeah, I'm saying having. I'm saying how much is it covering, honestly.
I'm gonna say definitely the limbs.
Mm-hmm.
The... Okay, one second. What type of...
Arms, legs, back?
Yeah, arms, legs, back. If we're gonna give them a thorax, then yes.
Thorax instead of tail?
It would make sense for some of them to at least have a thorax.
I think that's a defining characteristic of insects is having a thorax, isn't it?
Well, having a three-segmented body, yes. But technically, if we're gonna look at the humanoid form, it would make sense for the three segments to be below, hips and below, rib cage and up, and the between section. That is what it would make sense if we are comparing most insects to a human body, which would kinda negate the thing for a thorax. If we make the hips and below and then everything above the hips two different things, then a thorax would be required.
Well, this is pretty much like a baseline, so I'm thinking we just put the thorax on, honestly.
Okay.
Being honest.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah. Damn, girl, that's a large-ass thorax.
For most of them, it would be a compliment. For others,
What do they call?
let's hope you have pesticide.
Would they call it a thorax or a thorax?
Yes.
I mean, spend the night with them. Maybe you find out.
I definitely think that, like, Western culture would just embrace the thorax. Especially the Marvel fans.
Probably. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. I want to talk about the arms a little bit too.
Oh, sure.
Are like, it's like, if I take like a praying mantis arm, would they have a praying mantis arm, or would they have a normal arm, or would we like have like a normal set of human arms and then a set of insect arms?
Well,
You get what I mean here?
Okay, I definitely wouldn't think that any of the arms would be fully quote-unquote normal, but certain insects definitely would have characteristics that would be unique to them. Like a mantis without their signature arms. Why even be?
Why even be?
I didn't really know how to finish that sentence. Then I thought, like,
why would it exist?
yeah, I was tempted to say why even exist, but then I thought, like, to be or not to be. I'm gonna make a pun here.
Why even be?
I mean, it is still a functioning sentence, okay?
Barely. And that's because English doesn't like rules.
Yeah, English doesn't even follow the rules of English. Goddamn, now that just reminds me of a stupid quote of our Baldur's Gate playthrough earlier today.
Which one?
Stare me in the cock and say that again. Sorry. But, okay, so, with the example of mantis, do you think what would be, I'm just gonna say middle arms for the secondary set, and shoulder arms for where our arms would be.
Yeah. Normal arms, extra arms. Yeah.
Yeah. So the mantis part would definitely be on top of the main arms, while the more dexterous, slightly humane arms would definitely be on the secondary build. The question is, would they be equally long and I'm also just talking in general, or do you think that the secondary arms would be shorter?
I feel like they have to be shorter, honestly.
I'm willing to accept that. I'm just kind of walking around sometimes in like a T-Rex, like pretending to be a T-Rex to pretend like, okay, secondary arms would be like this. Would they have like so I assume that if you put like your arms next to you with your elbows against you, that would be the kind of like the length you're thinking of, I assume, right?
Maybe like not like like from your shoulder to elbow, you don't like really need that length of arms. Maybe from like your elbow out.
Okay, yeah, that's kind of what I imagined. But I do
Yeah.
assume that the secondary would still have like their own elbow. So basically, we would have joints between our elbow and our wrist.
I would be fine with that.
Okay, yeah, cool.
Plus, it's easier to keep stuff to you and reach up to you. I feel like it would be awkward having like two full-length arms, like one at normal length and one down below, like. But that's probably just the human in me saying like it'd be weird to have it down that far.
That is true, but you do have to remember, bugs don't really function by our rules.
I know, that's what I'm saying. That's probably the human in me. I'm just trying to like think like, why would you have a full-length arms down that low?
Yeah. I definitely agree that it would probably, definitely in our society, would get in the way. Like, imagine you just trying to walk through a door and you're and you just happen to stretch like. Imagine trying to get a comfortable position with an additional full-length arm.
I do have to say, for our arms, we can't have them on like the same vertical axis. So, because if you like put your arms down, your upper arms would just hit your lower arms. So I think we would have to like move like the shoulder kind of like a little bit back to the back a little bit, kind of like offset the arms.
Okay, so kind of. Okay.
Like an offset. You get what I mean?
Yeah, like you're just basically moving your shoulders backwards so that your shoulder blades are touching that kind of distance.
Yeah.
Yeah,
about around there.
Yeah, I can definitely see that working. I would even say that it would also kind of make sense that the secondary arms would not be like on the sides, but just like a couple degrees closer to the front.
You want them in the front? I kind of want them in the back.
Oh, you want them in the back?
Yeah, the secondary arms in the back is what I'm saying.
Okay, then I don't really see the use of moving the main arms to the back. If it's
No, I didn't say move the main arms. I just said move the secondary arms. Keep the main arms where they're at right now, and then move the secondary arms to the back. Ish.
Ah, okay, 1 second.
That's what I meant.
Okay. I'm moving my elbows back a little bit to just kind of imagine what it would be like.
Mhm. Kind of where your elbows would be at would be around where the secondary arms would be.
Yeah. I actually don't see that being that practical. It would make more sense if the secondary arms were like a little bit to the front. Okay, so to kind of give an example, so if you put your hands on your side with your rib cage and kind of try to find like the lowest rib.
Yeah.
You know that? Okay, so kind of the end of the lowest rib.
Yeah.
That basically aligns with your with the front. Okay, how do I say this? Okay, so basically aligns with your hip going straight up, like.
Okay. Yeah, I get where you're getting at.
Because if you put the secondary arms there, like, like just put your elbows close there, it's a lot easier to move those arms around. Like, you can hold something, bring it to your mouth. You can scratch your legs with your secondary things. You can do everything on the front, like it would make more sense that you would be evolved to have the secondary hands there, because that way you could also protect your vitals. Plus, a lot of insects don't actually have like their legs on the side. They kind of have them at the bottom, and so that would be the front.
Yes, and
But I do agree that one of the arms would have to move. Like, I can imagine the main arms moving a little bit backwards, like when your shoulder blades touch, like your shoulders would be in a different location,
Mm-hmm.
or the
Well,
secondary arms a
the thing
little
is,
bit.
we already have our.
Oh, go ahead.
It's kind of like we're coming off of the exoskeleton around the back, is what I'm thinking here.
Ah, okay, fair.
Because
fair.
we don't have a bone structure. We have an exoskeleton, right?
Yes.
Or we have to mix it technically.
Yeah.
But again, most of the exoskeletons are on the back, so we're already stemming from the back itself at this point. Plus, as also being kind of related later, with our flight variants of our insect girls, instead of grown wings, they would have grown arms instead in that area. But
Oh wait, so according to you, the flight version doesn't have an additional set, but just wings.
Yeah. It's
Oh.
like I was gonna get to it later. Is the thing.
Oh, okay. If that is the biggest differentiate between the two subspecies, then oh yeah, then I'm kind of more okay with it.
Like, plus it gives some good differentiating and kind of relates them as well.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Okay, so in that case, with those arms,
Like, and again, we don't have to make them shorter. We can make them full length if they are coming out around the back.
yeah, if they're
as
coming
well.
from around the back, then it would actually make them being just longer would still work. Wait. Yeah, and you would even touch the ground, even if they were were positioned lowered.
They can be slightly shorter too. So.
Yeah, like slightly, a little bit. Plus, it also would kind of give the beneficiary of like you basically can just hold something behind you just to make it easier to carry. But
yeah,
logically speaking, I still think they would be a little bit to the front. But I can see where you're coming from if the differentiate between the humanoid and the flight kind is the wings and the secondary set of arms.
it kind of makes sense. Now that I said it, I didn't really initially have that, but it kind of works for me now.
Yeah.
Like, so.
Okay, so this is another thing that has to probably have to be. Wait, but certain flies I just can't imagine without the additional set of arms, like specifically the bees and the buzzing wings, like
Well, the flight variant needs less weight so it can fly. That's how I'm also thinking about it too.
Okay, fair enough. But
Cut some corners.
yeah, but the buzzwing, I will get back to buzzwings and flutterwings once we get to the flight variant.
We'll get to it. We're still on our normal variant.
Another thing that definitely would make sense for insect girls, molting or shedding.
Yeah, no fight here for that.
Yeah, because
I totally agree with that.
But insects, well, most insects. I'm not talking about like the larval and grubs, but most. Yeah, we need to get to that. Oh, we even need to get to that with insect, but. Adult form.
I'll bring that up later.
Adult form don't really get fat. They just mold. That is just how they grow. So.
Yeah.
Theoretically speaking, the older they are, the bigger they are.
Yeah. Well, that's usually how growing up works.
Yeah, but unlike a lot of species,
I'm pretty sure I'm bigger than a baby, and I'm pretty sure you are too.
Ah, look at the little baby. Wah. Now look at the big baby. Wah.
Wow.
Hi, Cat. But yeah, unlike most animals, as long as it is alive, insects continue to mold, and that's also how they grow. So
yeah, that's pretty common in nature, just in general. Like with lobsters and crabs and such, that have that exoskeleton shell to them.
yeah, exoskeleton animals don't really have a growth limit.
Mm-hmm.
Are we gonna give
like technically lobsters are immortal. they just get like so big and like bulky, they just can't get enough energy to sustain their life, and that's how they die naturally.
They don't die of old age, they die of hunger.
Pretty much, yeah.
I mean, that's our hot tub episode.
Anyway,
But are we gonna give insect girls a growth limit, or are we just gonna say, while most of them are smaller, it is also possible that you will encounter a death by snoo snoo moth?
well, a lot of insects have their own mating rituals. Praying mantis being an obvious one.
The most famous one.
Again, most obvious.
Yeah.
Well, if we're going to talk about growth cycle, let's kind of like start from the beginning. Eggs. Team egg.
I'm thinking about it. Grounded mantis is smash. Oh right, yeah. Kit Kat plays a lot of grounded, so she would definitely would be potentially be into insect girls.
Like, for a lot of insects, once they lay their eggs, their life is done, is the thing.
Root mummy.
Like, praying mantis is another example. Have you seen the size of their eggs compared to their bodies? It's so taxing on their bodies. Most of them will die after laying their egg.
That is also fair.
And also, there's insects with not long lifespans, like famously butterflies.
Yeah, they spend most of their times as either a caterpillar or
Chrysalis. Yeah.
pass.
So yeah, insects are a variety of bullshit, honestly.
Indeed.
So I am fine not giving them a limit per se.
Okay. So they could basically just become very, very big.
It's really a thing of acquiring nutrients is the game, honestly.
Acceptable. But how often do you think they would molt?
If we're combining it with the human aspect, once a year is fine, honestly.
Makes sense. Like on their birthday, or is it? Do you think it would be around a certain season?
Yesn't? But it could be like a season around their birthday. I would be fine with. Kind of combine the two.
Ah. So would you say that insect girls would all be born around the same times, or do you actually think they would be born year-round? Because I can depending if we're talking
Yes,
about...
but
Also fair. Because...
probably all year round, honestly.
Yeah. Oh, something I actually just thought about.
Mm-hmm.
There is actually like a physiological difference between a bee that's born in the summer and a bee that's born in the winter. The one in the winter actually lives much longer than a summer bee, because their work is vastly different.
Yeah. Well, since you want to talk about bees, let's move on to the centaurs so we can avoid them.
Ha! You absolute slut. But yeah,
yeah. Let's move on to our other kind of thing, because we do need to talk about them as well.
Yeah.
So for our centaur variation, big obvious difference in the room when we talk about centaurs. Everyone can picture one, except instead of a horse, it's the insect.
So it's exactly like a centaur.
So common ones I could think of being a centaur are like ants, slugs, and snails.
Yeah.
I can see what was the other one?
Centipedes.
Spiders, centaur, scorpions, Centipedes, yeah. Oh, what was the one? Caterpillars. That is one.
Ooh, so okay, so specifically caterpillars. Would they become a butterfly flight type?
Yes. And I wanted to talk to you about metamorphosis later because I feel like that's going to be a big hitch.
Yes, please. Oh wait. Okay, so can we refer to the humanoid ones as the satyr builds? Because that's kind of what we've been referring to as most of our beast girls.
Sure if you want.
Centaur types,
Or basic,
satyr
basic
types,
bugs.
and flight types.
Sure.
Dope.
But kind of like naming a monster girl after another monster girl. is kind of
Welcome to the world of biology.
But yeah, sure, satyr types is fine. But yeah, but the big before we move on to metamorphosis, the centaur difference though.
Yeah.
So,
I'm gonna assume that a centaur does not have the additional set of arms that the satyr types have, but instead
yeah.
their entire lower body probably. Wait. Okay, actually, a legit question to this category and centaurs in specific.
Yes.
Do they have a belly button?
Are we Team Egg? Like I asked you earlier.
Yeah, but even if they have a belly button, would it be where ours is, or do you think it would be lower?
I'm gonna say no belly button.
Fair. Okay, so, but that would be a good border area, like where our belly button is. That is where the beast starts. Does anything special happen if I feed your dragon every food at once? I don't know. I have not tried that yet, Kit Kat. It will probably
You'll
say
treat it better. That's what happens.
It will probably will thank you for each and every one.
It'll treat it better than Scamper. That's what happens. Anyway, yeah. So instead of the extra arms, they have the normal human torso down to where around belly button, pelvis areas starts, where everyone differentiate that line, case by case basis, and then we'll move on to the legs. I'm thinking standard. Well, besides our spider, scorpion types, I'm thinking still only 4 legs, honestly, to make up the 6 of an insect, with including the 2 human arms.
Yeah. So they would. I can honestly imagine them having just the 6 bug legs down there and then the 2 arms. So since that is the case with most centaurs.
Like standard centaur build, I think only the 4 legs with the 2 human arms make the 6 appendages for the insect. And then the spider scorpions can have that extra set because they're special.
Yeah. But then it would really be like most centaurs.
Centaur types.
Yeah, because a centaur tends to be like like a centaur in a classical fashion is the 4 horse legs, and then instead of a horse head, they've got us. Why did you type it in? Mostly because I was on a train of thought and I didn't want to interrupt Blackout.
Well, legs. Number of legs is going to be a case by case basis. I'm going to be honest there. But I did want the segmentation, like we did bring up earlier, how it has 3 segments. Does our centaur have 3 or 2?
A spider,
which
a spider would have 2, but I'm gonna say 2, and I kind of can see technically 2, like the hips would be a bit on their own. Because that would be the connection. That would be kind of the connection point. So 2.5 technically, if we're gonna be counting errors.
Because the 3rd segment is usually like you have the thorax, the I forgot what the middle is called.
Abdomen is the.
Yeah, abdomen's fine. Thorax, abdomen, and then the head.
Yeah.
And the head in our centaur is pretty much the head and torso.
Exactly. And yes, Spider Mummy is indeed a smash.
Yeah. I'm trying to think, like, would there be any benefit for a monster girl to have 3 segments to their body?
Uh,
Because already segmenting him was already enough to differentiate him from a centaur.
I'm gonna say
Why would
not.
we have 2 segments?
Good point. There's depending on how strong the body is, there's not a real need to segment it because
They're going to be big girls, honestly.
Yeah,
These are centaur
the
types.
the,
So
the
they're
biggest
gonna have
reason
strong
for
bodies.
the segments is actually because
Mhm.
most exoskeletons are not that flexible. So
Yeah,
so you can basically compare it to the cards of a train.
yeah, but we're also mixing in our human physiology.
Yeah, so I can definitely agree that a segmented bit would definitely be less beneficial here.
I think they're going to be 2 segments, not 3. That's what I'm going to argue for.
Okay, for centaurs I can definitely agree with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so with these centaurs, how easy do you think that it would be for them to like scale a wall, considering they have an entire new point of gravity? I know we kind of talked about this way back in our original centaur episode, but right now we're talking about things that can move vertically
3-dimensional movement.
and horizontally, but upside down.
Well, they're definitely gonna have the same, like, abilities to climb as a normal insect, wouldn't they? Like,
Yeah,
like they would have adapted their center of gravity by the, like, into their modern forms.
yeah.
then.
So I do think that with centaurs, the densest area would be the hip replacement.
like, unless it's like a sheer surface or very slippery, I think they'd be fine with their like climbing like a normal insect.
Okay, so
Honestly,
I
if not, maybe a little bit better because they can actually use their hands.
yeah. What I was gonna say, for if it is like straight up a wall, like a vertical, then I'm gonna say they wouldn't need to use their upper body, just kind of train their core muscles a little bit. But I do think that
Maybe flatten out instead of being like an upright centaur. They can like maybe bend forward, something like that.
I could definitely see that. That would also make it easier.
Especially since they are segmented, it'd probably be easier than a normal centaur to like bend forward.
That is true. But once they're like upside down, like ceiling, I do think they would actually have to lean forward and kind of use their hands to kind of help with it, because they might just tip over with an entire torso just kind of pulling down. It might not be the
Upside down is possible, just harder.
yeah
Vertical, fine.
Yeah, vertical, just a little bit of. It's like doing able to sit up without using your arms. I'm gonna say, but they would definitely have to use their upper body to just kind of even out the weight distribution.
Well, yeah, which is fair. Let's see. Anything else about our centaurs?
Huh. Okay. How, do you think it would be easier or harder for them to mold? Because I can see. I think it's going to be harder for the centaur build to mold compared to the satyr build.
I would say for sure, because there's probably areas where they can't reach on their body.
Yeah.
Has a centaur wipe its ass?
I'm just imagining like pelvic thrust over like one of those shoe brushes, like e.
Or they have one of those extendable little arms with a little claw at the end with a brush.
Or a bidet.
Yeah, bidet's probably their answer.
I do think that there's definitely one additional benefit that they already have over the satyr build, and definitely over the flight build.
That is
Comfortable sleeping position.
I think they're all belly sleepers, honestly. Besides centaurs, yeah. Insect girls would have to sleep on their stomach.
Yeah. Well, most of them, I will agree, but since we are mixing humans in, there's one thing we humans have that we excel at compared to any other organism.
That is...
Anxiety. So I do think
well...
So I definitely think that they would be a lot more restless than normal insects. Imagine the discomfort of just laying on your, like, third arm or accidentally biting your own wing in your sleep.
Damn it, my third arm fell asleep.
Yeah.
My second leg fell asleep. No. Yeah. Yeah. No, I think that's really all the big things we've hit on them.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Okay, so
Alright.
I actually do have one thing that I am curious about. I know it's changed base to base, but with a lot I can also... I'm not sure. Do you think, the ratio-wise, do you think the thorax is just longer than their humanoids than the top half, or do you think those would be kinda have like a ratio?
I think they would have to be about the same just for center of gravity's sake, honestly.
Uh-huh.
Like, they would definitely be smaller than a normal centaur, but yeah. Like, insect centaur is about half the size of a regular centaur, a normal centaur.
Okay, yeah.
That's where I would put them down.
I do think they would be wider than a horse centaur, though.
Yeah, I'm fine with that, but like lengthwise, definitely shorter.
Yeah.
Length and height.
Yeah, because I
God.
definitely can understand that a bug centaur, or just a centaur, would be closer to a ground. Even though they have long legs, I don't think they would be, like, stretched.
They wouldn't be stretched. Like, they would probably be segmented like insect legs are.
I mean, yeah, but when I say stretch, I mean, like, they're not using the full length to reach, like,
Yeah.
vertical.
All right. All right. Let's move it on to the flying types.
Okay. I actually would like to start with giving the flyer types two subspecies just to start with. Buzzers and flutters.
Oh, boy.
You can think of the buzzers like the wings that just go so fast you don't see them. Tend to be the see-through ones, and then there's the flutters, or just the straight up flappers like butterflies, moths.
Sure. Yeah. If you want to do that.
Because while I like flapper more than flutter. Flappers definitely can spend less energy, because those wing flaps just catch way more air. So one flap of them would be enough to just kind of hold them, steer them. But if it's windy, they would be more in trouble, because, oh no, the wind, my boy.
Sure. I'm fine with that.
While buzzers would definitely be more quote-unquote athletic, considering they have to actively just go.
I think all of our flying types have to have at least like 4 quote-unquote wings. Get what I mean?
Yes.
At least 4.
Yeah, I could definitely agree with that. They're also definitely going to be the lightest frames of the bunch.
Probably smaller than like our normal satyr types. Honestly.
Wait, are we good? Just curious. Are we putting mantis in the satyr, centaur, or flight type?
They're not centaurs. I don't see them as centaurs.
So you're more of
Either satyr or like a flying type, maybe. No, they don't fly. They just enhance jump. So maybe I would have to put them under satyr types.
they do fly.
They do fly. I thought they had enhanced jump.
1 second,
Because they're not born with wings. They grow wings at like their final stage in life. Is the thing. They're not natural flyers.
Yes, and
Their wings come out on like their final molt usually.
I mean once they're adult stage, because technically bees also don't start with their wings. They start as little grubs, and then just start to become more and more. You know, even though we haven't really started talking about metamorphosis yet, there's one thing that I will say about just insect girls in general. They will have the ugliest children.
Oh, my kid is so cute. No, it's not. I may be in a minority, but I don't think babies are cute. In any sense.
It depends how fresh they are.
I don't in any sense.
Yeah.
That's just a general opinion of mine.
I could, on one side, I agree about it. Sometimes I think like, aw, but those tend to be like not the straight out of the mother babies.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do kind of agree.
Yeah. Let's see. Four segmented wings. Small thorax, probably comparatively to the others.
I think that actually compared to the, well, at least to the satyr builds, they would have either a longer or a more well-defined one, because the thorax is actually used a lot to kind of balance while flying.
We have legs.
Fair. Ooh. Wait, there's actually something else that I kind of have to think of. Like, a lot of beetles, they have like foldable wings, but they also have like a shell that opens.
Yep.
So I assume
that's probably something for the species that they have like a shell around their back hiding their wings or some sort. It's yeah, if we're going to talk about every single insect though, my man, everyone will have something different about them.
Yeah, but beetles are a big category. Though I was kind of planning on putting those in the centaur group, because power-based insects would definitely benefit from a good sturdy frame that the centaur type would provide.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, most of the biology things that I still want to address are just mostly the general ones.
We never talked about the antenna. Like,
no,
one of the most important parts on an insect.
Yeah.
Like, are they going to have the, like, representative antenna of their species on each of them?
Yeah, I can definitely see that, because both of them do tend to function vastly different, especially, like, an ant who's is basically, like, just a couple of movable sticks that just bends where they want it to direct, while a moth is more like a passive.
Yeah. Like, all our insect girls, I think you could agree, just have, like, a sixth sense, you could say, with their antenna now.
I mean, technically it would be an eighth sense, since humans already have 7.
You get what I mean.
I know.
Extra sense.
I know, but yeah, I can definitely agree with that.
Kind of like going with the antenna and how like it kind of ants how they use their antenna for like looking for pheromones and differentiate
Pheromones,
between like
scavenging.
yeah. Would their antenna be kind of like nerfed a little bit because now they would have noses?
I do think it would be nerfed a bit because ant girls probably would be above ground a lot more.
Sure.
So, yes, I do think that as the other senses develop, those senses would definitely dull a little bit.
Like they're still there. It's like
Yeah.
really. Also, pheromones. That's another thing to talk about.
I mean, a lot of animals use pheromones, and we never addressed it before.
I know.
But
like mixing it with the human part. Like how's like you trying to see what I'm trying to get to?
I can definitely see some issues happening here.
Yeah.
Because with antennas, they do use pheromones as one of their main senses of communication. If you're not looking at like the bees doing a little dance.
Yeah.
And fireflies just flashing. I do definitely think that there still would be like a pheromone communication that other species would not be able to tap into.
Yeah. They're able to control their pheromones more than a normal.
Oh yeah.
Other monster girl. I would say in that case.
Well, certain animals do release certain pheromones to give specific
I'm saying
messages,
they're better
but
at control.
they basically. Okay, so well, let's say a dog would know, like, basically like the phonetic alphabet, like alpha, beta.
Yeah.
While insects, they just have it as a language, so they could just make words with set alphabet.
Is something wrong with Mom? She's giving off some bad pheromones. Shit, what day is it?
Something I actually learned related to pheromones. If a bee stings you, the reason why it's very important to either change your clothes or wash said clothes is because when they sting, when a bee stings, they just
leave
go.
a pheromone trail so others find you and attack you.
Yeah, exactly. Apparently, it smells like bananas, so it is very important that if you have certain scents, it is not bananas, because that is just the fuck this guy
really
smell.
hate bananas.
Which makes bees even more my favorite insect. They like me for real, for real. We vibrate, we are fuzzy, and we don't like the smell of bananas.
Let me ask, do you like jazz?
I am so tempted to go on my usual B-movie rant. So...
another time. Not this time.
Fair. Thank you for stopping me.
Let's see.
Okay, so something a lot of insects are, and a lot of them produce it in unique ways. Venom and poison. How potent do you think it would be if we sized them up? Because it does cost a lot of energy to make it in specific doses, so I think it would be kinda diluted as we scale them up.
Yeah, I was going to say it's going to dilute a bit, if not become almost ineffective in some cases.
Because certain insects, like
yeah.
Like certain wasps can just make your flesh rot and melt. There's that one spider that just gives you like a permanent erection, but your heart gives out.
Yeah. Bugs are very deadly.
Exactly.
Another thing that we need to talk about is like girls. Multiple eyes.
Well, I'm just trying to think, because most insects don't actually have multiple sets of eyes. They have like not segmented. Wait, segmented? Yes. Fragmented? Compound eyes. That was the word I was looking for. They have compound eyes, so basically they have a lot of eyes pressed into one. Spiders, however, do have multiple sets, and so do bees, but for different reasons. Wait, did we ever give
Anyway, we're
Lamias...
talking about the eyes.
Like, I'm okay with having like a few extra sets, but not like be not afraid amount. We don't.
Yeah, I'm not gonna give them like 100 eyes.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Ooh, speaking of additional eyes, did we give our Lamias actually the pit organ?
I don't remember. Being one of our first episodes.
Fair.
Legit episodes.
But yeah, I can definitely see them having up to 2 pairs of eyes.
Okay, yeah, I'm fine with that.
Especially
and the
if,
compound eyes.
Yes.
Are we keeping those or normal eyes?
I'm just trying to think. Imagine having like compound eyes and like an eyelash falls in. That's like having
Block
just
about half your vision. Just kidding.
I was gonna say that's gonna be like having that one annoying dead pixel on your monitor.
Yeah.
Would it be less annoying or more annoying?
What's more annoying?
Yeah. Like,
So are we in favor of the compound eyes?
I mean, it's a cool trait, I will admit. So,
It's a cool trait, but I'm just trying to think. What's the point of it?
most of the time it is to give like close to 360 vision. But if we keep them realistically in the same position,
Yeah.
then it depends. Are we gonna give them eyelids or no?
I think we have to with our human.
Yes, I mean yes. And with eyelids, and we don't need the compound eyes. We have bendable necks and eyes to move around. If we are not gonna give them the same type of transpiration that humans use to function to deal with heat and just lubricate their skin and eyes, then I think compound eyes could still work.
I will say it's like
Especially,
it's a modified compound eyes. I mean,
it is especially good for the flight types, though.
Yeah. I would say modified compounds.
Yeah.
Like it's not exactly like it's kind of a mixture between them, maybe.
So kind of like how alligators have that additional eyelid.
Yeah.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense for them to have something like that. But
Like a compound eyelid.
yeah, I do think that the flight types would have the closest to normal compound eyes. Because it is very important to be aware of your surroundings while flying, like just so your wing doesn't clip into electrical wires.
Just imagine. Oh, my vision's going blurry. One moment. Sprays Windex on the eyes. All good.
Yeah. Okay, so before we start going either into the culture aspect or we're going to talk about some of the weirder stuff, I'm just going to put some well-known bugs in specific categories if you want to help me.
Sure.
Okay, so bees and such definitely gonna be in the flying category, and
Wasps and such, yes.
certain specific beetles, spiders,
Centaur.
yeah, definitely in the centaur category.
Alright.
Also centipedes.
Crickets, grasshoppers? I can satyr.
Yeah, definitely gonna say Satyr there. Mantis is gonna be a difficult one, because on one side I can see Centaur, but on the other side I can also see them in the Satyr class.
I'll say Satyr, but their secondary arms are the sickles.
I'm actually gonna say the reverse, that the secondary are the more dexterous one, like I said before. Because
Sure.
Mantises are known for those.
We need the cool part.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
we
known
need the
for the
cool
griffy bits.
Sure, I'm fine with that.
Okay, sorry, something silly just kind of popped in my head for the Satyr builds. Imagine a boxing
What?
match, like the main arms are just kind of hold like horizontally in front of the face, while the bottom ones just kind of go like that little good old little boxing spin. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Like, hiya, hiya, and then just a haymaker with your main arm.
I just see a praying mantis as a Rock'em Sock'em Robot style. Ba-ding, 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 ba-ding.
Honestly, Kung Fu and like the
like the actual praying mantis style. Yeah.
yeah.
But actually, that kind of brings up something about their biology.
Oh yeah.
How insects can lift way more than their body weight in some cases.
I mean, I'm totally okay with them having a higher, way higher comparable strength than humans.
What do they say? Like an ant can lift 50 times its weight.
Of course, we're not gonna make it that strong.
So if like our insect girl weighed like 100 pounds, that'd be like 5,000 pounds lift. Pick up a car, literally.
Yeah, like I can see them being stronger, but realistically not that strong, because a lot of shows, like even Spider-Man or Baki used the example, if a bug was this big, they would be able to do this.
Yeah.
No, because they're forgetting about physics. One, I'm gonna use a flea. It would not be able to jump as far ratio-wise as a normal flea for a couple reasons. One, there's a lot more air friction. Two,
Yeah.
since the mass increases, so would the force needed. So, three, especially now with the lifters.
Fleas don't have wings. Fleas don't have wings. That's an insect without wings. Sorry.
Yeah, the fleas are definitely going to be in the Satyr builds. But lifters also wouldn't be as strong relatively as people normally say, mostly because gravity affects those things that they would try to lift more, since one of the things that inflict that would be mass. And after all, another thing is, insects weigh so little that their terminal velocity isn't even lethal to them. The heavier they are, the higher the terminal velocity would be, and the more falling damage they would take.
Immune to fall damage.
Not anymore. So, up till a certain point, yes, it makes sense. But not so much as media is portraying. Sorry for all the Spider-Man fans out here.
Instead of 50, you want to do 10 times?
I'm honestly surprised if it would reach 7.
Want to call that a 5?
Okay. Like, yeah, I'm gonna say that. Yes, that's an insect that is like up till your ribcage could easily just pick you up under her arm and just go, alright, we're moving you.
Well, this is my fate now.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? Fight him?
Yeah, but like I said, I'm definitely not gonna I'm definitely not gonna give them like Peter Parker levels of power.
You know he holds back most of the time, though, right?
Like I said, we're not giving him Peter Parker levels of power. Okay. Just because I brought up Peter Parker, a lot of insects are actually just fucking cool because of the weird shit they can do. If you were a insect-based super, what insect would you want the powers from to have been scaled up?
What insect powers I would want?
Yeah, like Spider-Man has the speed, the strength, and just the climbing. And certain Spider-Mans are able to make their own silk. What? You thinking about it?
Google Sensei, I know what it is. I'm just trying to remember which one it was.
What does it do? Maybe I know.
The Bombardier Beetle.
Ah, yes.
S to the face, big disgrace, nothing all over the place. Seems like a cool power.
Yeah, just making like fucking chemicals within you and then just.
Oh.
Yeah. If I had to pick. Okay, so the ones I am keeping thinking of, like, I would definitely need like certain modifications for the powers to like work. Cause I would definitely pick an insect that has flight.
Of course, I can't mix chemicals in my body like that naturally.
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, I would like to. What? Honestly, I would go with either like a Hercules beetle, or Hercules beetle, or potentially something simple as a wasp.
You don't want the Common Rider kick?
Oh no! Imagine a flea-based shoulder tackle.
Insect's going to be really good at sports. Leave it at that.
Yeah. Oh, that reminds me. There's actually a fun manhwa called Jungle Juice that is basically the question I just asked. The plot. It sounds like quite fun.
Neat. Anything else we need to discuss about their biology?
Let's see. How much are we diluting the venom? Because and are we splitting it between the different forms? Because if anything, I think that since we gave centaurs the highest base power, flight, the ability to fly, I think satyrs would have the highest potency when it comes to venoms and poisons, to kind of even it out.
I just think I'm just going to dilute them heavily all the way around, being honest,
man. Yeah, true, but I do think that there would be sums that would still be kind of...
There could be less of a need later on, excuse me.
Do you think the venom would grow as they grow older, or do you think it's more potent when they're younger?
Probably more potent when they're younger, honestly.
Because of virility.
Probably, anyway.
Wait, are insects You don't know, I was gonna say, are these our first venomous and poisonous monster girls, but then I remembered we technically did slimes. And plant folk. yeah, I think biology-wise, we got it mostly
Everything
covered.
Head, arms, legs, and yeah, I think we are good.
Oh, by the way, yeah, with insects, I'm
Mhm.
probably on Team Egg.
I asked that like 10 minutes ago. Okay.
Yes, but I never answered.
Yeah, I took your silence as a yes because you weren't arguing.
Fair.
At this point of the show, if we're not arguing about it, we're on the same team.
True, or we just don't really feel anything about it.
So we're pretty much on the same team.
C1 Arlecchino. Nice. Okay. When it comes to insect girls in general, what do you think their aesthetic actually would be?
Aesthetic?
Yeah, their aesthetic.
I say, there's a little differentiation because wings are going to be a bitch to put clothes on.
Yeah. Well, unless it's the beetle, because
Even if
those
you
are
can pull them up, even if you can't pull them up, they're still a bitch to deal with.
beetles. Definitely are gonna. The beetle ones are definitely gonna be the easiest ones because those fold inside of the shield. Just, I'm just saying those would be the easiest to dress.
Yeah, but not our actual flyers though, like butterflies and such.
Yeah, flappers, mosquitoes, dragonflies.
So it's probably gotta be like, what's, this is a little bit harder, honestly, to think about because reasons.
I can honestly, for most, actually quite easily see them. Honestly, I can see two aesthetics and no in between.
Go ahead.
The goth, specifically the gothic Lolita with the frills and such.
That's a stretch.
Honestly, it fits for a lot of insects.
How it looks.
Yeah. Yeah. Plus the kind of white clothes would also help with like the additional body parts like the arms. And the other.
What's your other one?
And these are mostly for like the production bugs like bees, ants, flannel.
You lost me completely.
Fair enough.
I would imagine them with like all how the insects are in every shape, size, and variety. It's more like robes and like how I don't.
A lot of insects are portrayed in like knit sweaters.
Like overly baggy, loose clothing.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying
like hoodies and such.
we can't really have like skin tight stuff on them,
No.
honestly. So a hoodie would be fine for most of them, yeah.
Yeah, I'm okay with like giving that back.
Like it's gotta go over the rigid exoskeleton is the thing, most of their clothing. So
Okay, sorry, something stupid just kind of popped in my mind.
and that is
Ghetto bug girls.
maybe later. Anyway. Yeah. We're gonna move from the clothing topic because I don't think we're gonna find a good point reference here.
Yeah.
But moving on to like, we can finally move on to like their culture and society since we're done with biology. How about their life cycle though?
Okay, so we both agree that even if you think babies are not cute, these ones would be the ugliest ones.
Yes. So we start out in the egg stage.
Yeah. I'm gonna
we have
say
their-
that would be if we're making them external. I'm gonna assume they're gonna be bigger and less than insects lay, because imagine having the childcare for
yeah,
that one.
yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah, big time, especially like spider eggs, insects, and all that. Yeah.
So I think since we are sizing them up, meaning they would take up a lot more space, I think that each batch would be a maximum of 4.
Sure, or less. 4 or less.
Yeah, that's why I said maximum. I do. What would make sense if we were gonna make them more humanoids? I think the egg stage, which would be the first couple of months,
Okay.
would be like the baby stage. The larval stage would be like toddler, like a 2-year, 3-year-olds,
I guess.
and considering a certain thing. Then, sorry, I'm just mixing all kinds of insects together before even getting a full sentence out in my head. The next stage
There's
would
too
be
many.
probably be the next larval stage, which is when they start to eat like a lot. So you can think of the caterpillars that you see, like the big juicy ones.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that's like pre-teens, like 5 till 11ish, because kids around that age tend to eat a lot because they are having massive growth spurts. Certain insects do actually have like the chrysalis stage or the pupa, which is kind of like a cocoon.
We can skip that stage right now.
I was gonna say that comparatively that would be like the teen years, because they don't really do a lot.
Yeah.
And around
Then
what
you're an adult.
age do you think would be the adult age stage, though?
That's the thing. We didn't discuss their
Metamorphosis?
lifespan.
Yeah, lifespan.
Like, how long are they living for?
Okay, so growth cycle we kinda already nerfed because of the human aspect. Age,
I'm gonna say 30 years old.
I'm gonna actually bring up a
Honestly.
point I brought to attention earlier. Bees that are born in summer have like a couple of weeks of lifespan, while a winter one has a couple of months, because they are both literally built different with different tasks for them. So it is actually, even within the same species, differentiate when they are born.
Well, that's a thing too.
Yeah,
if we're
they
going case by
wouldn't
case, we'd
really-
be here forever. But that's what I'm being generous with. 30 years is honestly what I'm thinking here. Honestly,
I'm gonna look up. I'm gonna just Google Sensei real quick what the oldest, longest insect lifespan is, real quick.
sure.
Let's see.
I swear.
Oh.
Google.
Okay, so a queen termite, for example,
It's about
has an
28
average
and-
lifespan between 25 till 50. So 50 is already then pretty decent. Because the part I see after that, I'm like, yeah, I'm not even gonna try and argue to extend it till that point, because they found termites up to 100.
They did.
Yeah.
The first one I find is that a queen ant lycisis has the longest recorded adult life of any insect, being 28, almost 29 years in captivity.
Off of any insect. Huh.
Weird.
Yeah, but it does make
Weird.
sense that the queens do live a couple years compared to others, because their task
I'm
is to...
saying 30, honestly.
You know what? Since in this day and age, I'm willing to up that to 40.
Like, thing is, I'm just trying to think what the human element in it is the thing.
Yeah, like, especially with how medicine is progressing, how animal care is progressing, I'm willing to up the lifespan of from the insect part a couple years. Like, if I wanted to make it more human, I would try to fight for 60, but no, I really think that 40 is a good age for insect girls.
Most insects like die after leaving their eggs is the thing. Besides the obvious ones.
Yeah, but
because it's such a.
that's not how humans work. Like,
Yeah,
like I think I can definitely see.
Yeah, but
them...
humans also don't lay eggs.
Also true. What I can imagine with the mix is, they would live after giving a birth, but a lot of their vitality would be gone, just like human parents.
Sure, 40.
Yeah, I do think that.
I can be fine with 40.
Yeah.
I guess.
Because I can definitely see them like after, especially the species that would lose their lives after laying an egg. I can definitely imagine a insect girl only being able to give birth once.
Yeah.
Maybe more with fertility treatment, but that is pure theoretical.
Even then, yeah. Alright, I guess 40, which is not very long, but yeah, it's still.
Yeah, it's still it is still decent.
Some bugs don't even live a year, I think.
Some bugs don't even live a week.
Isn't there it's some kind of like fly that lives for like only a day?
Well, yes'ns. It is only a fly for the adult stage lasts a day. The larva actually lasts a couple months.
Well, I was just saying.
But yes.
Some kind of. I wasn't sure if it was a fly or not. I was like, I think it was a fly.
I mean, the literal translation of that fly is actually the one-day fly. Mayfly, that's what it's called in English.
Yeah, mayfly. That's what it was. Yeah.
You could say that they may fly.
I'd kick you out, but this is your stream.
Fair enough.
So I believe.
That one cancelled out the beep pun I made way earlier.
Let's see. So yeah, all right. Since we're talking about lifespans,
Yes.
meta-fucking-morphosis.
Let's go.
This bullshit of nature's magic.
The pure.
So with our obvious centaur caterpillar girl turning into our flying type butterfly girl.
Yeah.
What the fuck happened?
It makes. No, wait.
What makes sense? Finish your fucking sentence right now.
I
know what you're gonna say.
I was trying to think. Now I'm just imagining them, once they reach the pupa stage, to just turtle into their centaur body to dissolve themselves to basically gain kneecaps again. Because honestly, metamorphosis is kinda... It's actually like, how?
How did you evolve that?
Yeah, how is that physically possible? As a vertebrate, this is the human in me speaking, and this is also me as a biology student speaking. Like, realistically, what the fuck?
Like, what set of dangers and such put you on the evolutionary path to break down your entire body to gain wings?
You first eat a lot, then just wrap yourself in. Honestly, I do not want to. Actually,
Whatever.
you just wrap yourself into what you just digest it, so basically you puke all over yourself. Wait,
Yeah.
it becomes hard. You melt, and suddenly you're an entirely new creature.
Are all butterflies trans?
I was so tempted. Was trying so hard not to make a trans joke there.
Well, it's not a joke. It's an actual question.
I mean, I'm gonna say no because they are technically still the same gender they are at birth. Like clownfish are something that
that's a mermaid episode topic.
I know certain sea slugs are. No wait, those are hermaphrodite. That's something completely different. Actually, no, it isn't. Yeah.
Slugs. Where they battle with their
Yeah, they
Whoever
basically
loses
they
becomes-
fence with their schlungs. The one that gets penetrated is the bottom. Just
yeah,
like
it makes the babies.
just like prison.
Insects are all inclusive.
Yeah. Okay, so culture-wise, I do think we kind of have to split certain insects because a lot of them are honestly way different when it comes to hierarchy. Like bees, there's a clear caste system. So is it with ants, but I don't think there's like a queen mosquito.
There's not.
Exactly.
I think it's really the most famous ones are bees, ants, and termites have the queens.
Yup. There are a lot of insects that do live together. Well, there is kind of a hierarchy when it comes to certain beetles, but that's only the one that reaches the the top of the tree, and that is not even a saying. That is literally how they decide hierarchy. You know what's actually kind of what I actually really love about rhino beetles?
What?
Like they fight, they throw each other off the tree. They survive the fall because one, they are very sturdy. Two, still not heavy enough for terminal velocity. Two, once a male finally makes it to the top, has his fun with the female, he then just chucks her off the tree. Like, be
Alright,
gone,
bud,
wench!
Here, but I don't see a car. I don't say to you, I am the Uber.
Like, I just love that fucking mentality. Like, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. I'm gonna fuck you. Yeets!
And then fuck you.
And then just enjoy the sunsets. Just,
He had that post-nut clarity, my man.
yeah, just be gone thoughts.
Uh,
Okay, so
God.
which culture would you really like to delve into? Because
I don't have a preference with this episode.
I think that the satyr ones would
Let's
definitely.
get to the bees. We know
Yeah.
you want to do that one.
Yes.
Come on, bring
Yes,
it on.
yes, yes.
Let's get it out of the way.
Okay, so bees also have the same issue as butterflies, as they go from a larval centaur to a flight mode. But there's a couple things that I kind of want to address when it comes to bee productivity. One, they probably would
I'll be
be.
here a minute, guys.
Oh yeah,
I'll be here a minute, viewers.
yeah. There's guys in the bee colony only have 3 functions: fertilize the queen, eat the food, take up space. Also, with bees, when they go on their bridal flight to fertilize said queen, they nut so hard that that their junk just literally just explodes out of them, and the queen just keeps flying.
Mm-hmm. Ah, speaking of bees, insects don't like smoke, right?
Yesn't.
Not just bees.
Yeah. They are very sensitive to that. The smoke that's api. Wait, what's the English word? Apiary? Apiists?
Aviary, yeah.
They use a certain type of smoke that, one, calms them down, two, it triggers the instinct to protect the queen, and then they go away from the areas where the beekeeper stores wants the honey to be stored. But certain ones, like the place I work at also sells like lavender pellets. That is one, nicer on the beekeeper's nose. Two, it isn't as dangerous in the long term for certain bees. Three, it just smells better.
Okay, enough of your animal cruelty. Continue.
Anyways, since produce actually like 3 products that are very beneficial in human culture: honey, wax, and a lesser known substance called propolis. I kind of can imagine that bees would need the least amount of like skin products to just keep like looking fresh, looking good. Like they produce their own stuff.
Anything else you want to cook on?
Sorry, I was just rambling about bees, so I kind of forgot what was actually the train of thought that we were on.
You were on a train?
It feels more like a choo-choo locomotive. But yes, since certain bees definitely are also very in the need to build, it is especially by their own produce like wax. It is kind of hard to say how well they actually would function. Like in small sizes, they are amazing creatures to have. If we start scaling them up, things are going to become a lot more difficult, considering they would expand the places they live in tremendously, but they would also be really helpful, but on the other side, kind of territorial. So I like bees, but I think that when they are, if we're scaling them up, they would become a little bit too human, and that would make them kind of dangerous. Honestly, a lot of insects of all kinds would be great at just being self-sufficient, or offer something that would make them very valuable as trading partners. Like there's spiders with their silk, there's bees with their honey, there's honestly ants with their terraforming. I actually kind of have something in mind about one of the questions I normally ask, but if left alone, how far do you think bug girls would actually go?
That's a tougher question, I would say, than a normal, considering how many groups we have to.
Oh wait, there's actually one thing that we still need to address when it comes to just bug girls in general. Because a lot of features that bugs have been evolved to hunt other bugs.
Yeah. Go ahead, say it.
Yeah, like how much of that do you think is carrying over for bug on bug violence?
Probably a little bit in the beginning of their societies.
Okay, so
But the more you develop it, the more they probably not gonna be able to fight.
yeah, so what I think is that because of the bug on bug violence, same as with human warfare, if we scale up bugs, I do think that that type of competition would actually allocate massive development boons. So if one type of bug girl develops, then others either develop to surpass it or to defend against it. So personally, I think on their own that bug girls just in general could potentially surpass current human culture when it comes to technology, at least.
Yes, and I don't really see them getting past current culture, honestly.
Is that the human in you speaking?
Yes, and
I mean, when you think about it, it does kind of make sense for them to go past humans. I'm not saying by far, but I can see them being able to reach where we are sooner. Because there is obviously like a development ceiling. Like, it's gonna be harder and harder to invent new stuff and to innovate new stuff, but is it okay if I give like an example as to why I think bugs would have reached our culture?
You're gonna have to justify it.
Okay, so let's say we're gonna take spiders and flies. As soon as as flies start developing tools to either cut the webs or ways to locate said webs, spiders are gonna work on ways to either make their webs stronger so they can't be broken, or make them even stealthier or harder to detect, or just completely different techniques. Like, there are spiders who use trapdoors, spiders who make webs, spiders who literally just make like a little blob of sticky thread and then just lasso a motherfucker. And that would basically just validate a arms race between species. And you are a war veteran, you know that.
That would only go so far, is the thing.
Yes, but you, as a veteran, do know that a lot of the development that we are now using every day originally was used to get a step up against military opponents, like flashlights, heating, communication.
Yeah, but our insect girls are not going to war against each other. If anything, it would be more like a tribal spat between two different groups of insects.
Well, two different species.
This isn't a war.
Yes, and I'm just saying that because of the variety of prey-predator relationships, I'm saying they would develop faster than humans would.
Well, if they're not going to be targeting the other monster girls for very long, because the original point would be to get food. If they can get that food from somewhere else, like a wild boar or deer,
yeah, that's true.
Why would they go for the insect girl?
Because because certain insects do actually take up the same niche. For example,
a lot of things take up the same niche.
Yes, but if you want to collect more than, let's say, your neighbor, you would adapt more.
No, they would focus more on their natural talents than improving technologies that would improve a daily life would be the thing. What would you go for? The insect girl that could body slam you into the ground 5 ways a Sunday, or that wild boar over there that's just minding its own business? Which one do you want to hunt?
I feel like, considering what this show is about, both answers
For
are
food,
valid.
specify. I just say for food. so
Oh,
you know
for,
which
fa-
one to pick.
for food specifically? Mostly because they are humanoid, I'm gonna be going for the boar. But that is the human in
Yeah.
me speaking.
They're going to go for the path of least resistance most of the time, my man.
That is true. Though, let's... Okay, so, but... Kind of a sidestep instead of making them more human.
Mhm.
Let's say we
Yeah.
just have oversized bugs. You said it earlier, bugs are a great source of protein, so... Would we... If there were, like, massive
No,
bugs around, do you think
Yeah.
we would try to be better at hunting a pig or giant source of protein?
We would go after the pig.
Yeah,
Because it'd be easier to hunt.
you know, yeah, that's actually a fair point.
Again, you can go get body slammed against the wall. I will be go hunting this boar for bacon.
Okay, for a survival argument, you make a good point. For a would you waifu argument, I'm gonna get body slammed by a big waifu. Don't mind me.
That's different, though. I mean, waifu for life, but okay.
Considering how certain bugs mate, is it truly
It is
that
really-
different?
Anyway, yeah, we're a little off topic there. But, if I would put, technology-wise, what would be a good one that we... Because we keep using the same examples for technology over and over, being honest, is the thing.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, there's obvious reasons. Because I can't really see an insect girl wearing suit of armor, honestly. At least not like a full suit. You get what?
Yeah, but
It's
I'm-
like the weapons I can see him using, but the other stuff that came along with the Iron Age is like,
I mean, there's literally an insect that uses the exoskeletons of fallen prey to add to its own armor.
yeah, that's case difference.
Oh god, we have a real life monster hunter animal.
Let's see. What would be a good place to put them? Because I don't think they'd be modern, honestly.
Okay, spiders I'm gonna actually put the highest on the technology tree when it comes to insects.
I can see where you come from.
Because,
It's like,
like I said, spiders are very. They even have... Some spiders have even developed a way to use their silk to make a diving helmet. Like a straight up diving helmet for spiders.
yeah, there's spiders that live underwater. Yeah.
So that is definitely very intuitive. Bees is mostly because of human engineering that they got where they are, but on their own, I'm gonna say like the Marco Polo days of China. Like they are great at making medicine. They are great at building with different types of material. They produce wax for their housing, for a lot of, well, that is the human part, a lot of utility with wax. Propolis, well, for humans, it's great great in medicine, but for bees they use it to both plug up holes.
I'm thinking like ancient Egypt, kind of. Era of technology. I think that's like the ancient era.
Okay,
Or the Middle
ancient era. They are, I would say, put them above that. Like,
That's the Middle Ages, though.
wait, isn't Mesopotamia that old culture that was very advanced?
Yeah.
Bees would definitely have mastered that quite easily. But this is just speaking left on their own. Like,
Yeah. I'm thinking around like the ancient era, where they still had a fine amount of technology at their disposal, and like they building like the Great Pyramids or like the Tower of Babel and such.
I'm
Like,
gonna
they could
I'm gonna
probably
compare them
that.
more to like ancient China, like with the Great Wall of China.
That's still in the ancient era.
Yeah, but it's two completely different types of culture.
I wasn't saying a culture. I was just saying like a time era of technology,
Okay, fair enough. But
like the ancient era of technology.
apex ancient era.
It's tomato potato.
I mean, so,
But yeah, that's where I would put them technology-wise, if left on their own.
yeah, because they honestly haven't really changed their process.
For a long time.
Yes. This. Wait. What about
Turtles have been doing the same shit for a long time.
What about termites?
it's
Because
What about them?
where are we gonna put them? Because they make massive towers.
I was honestly just putting all the insects into like the ancient era for technology. Honestly,
I'm still gonna say that spiders would make it way further.
again, if we're going to do a case-by-case thing, we're going to be here all day. So I'm trying not to make that.
Fine. I'm okay with saying, you know,
We got like 13 minutes left of the show, my man.
fair. In that case, just to kind of make it a compromise.
Yeah.
While I'm okay with making the majority of them like ancient era, I do think they would have way more developed tools and in contact with other races, their development speed would skyrocket.
Dude, just like think of like the wonders of the ancient world.
Yeah.
The pyramids, the Hanging Gardens.
Oh yeah, the Hanging Gardens.
Colossus of Rhodes.
We need to
Like,
play Civilization.
There were titanic structures out there in the past, my man.
You know, yeah, I was underestimating the ancient era.
Yeah.
We need to play
Those are just, like, the
Civilization again.
wonders. Yeah, if we ever have time.
Why does Civilization have to load so fucking long?
It's not just the loading time, it's just us playing for hours at the time. It's like, that's a clear schedule kind of day, kind of things. Like, we're going to be here a minute, boys.
Okay.
Mainly because we don't know what we're doing 90% of the time. Once we get out the beginning.
That is fair.
Shit.
Anyways,
Yeah. Alright, so Alright, anything else we want to talk about Civilization? Well, that's on their own. With being with other races, definitely can advance more. I'm not fighting that.
yeah,
But
I'm gonna
again,
say
that
that
would help with others.
with others, they would develop one of the fastest.
They kind of like doing their own thing.
They're actually, a lot of insects actually do have a lot of symbiotic relationships. Like, there's
well,
there's little. I'm trying to think which one it was. For example, there are ants that actually keep like little insects as pets, and so do certain.
yeah, millibugs.
Yeah, And there's tarantulas that actually keep little pygmy frogs as pets. Like, they are honestly already quite integrated with a lot of other species. Like, I think these would be not necessarily the most sociable, but the most cooperative species.
Don't forget parasitic came from bugs too.
Yes'ns.
Parasites.
Alright, let's see. I feel like there should be more we should talk about society, but I'm just blanking for some reason right now.
Yeah, because a lot of bugs are definitely widespread, but we can agree upon one thing at least.
Yeah. What's that?
Spider girls are in Australia.
Sure. They're all over the place. There's nowhere to put them.
Yeah. Yeah, but if you had to pick
Are there
anyone...
bugs in Antarctica?
Wait, is Antarctica the South Pole or the North Pole?
That is south, I believe.
Potentially.
Anyway, either way, they're all over.
Yeah.
All right. We should probably getting into the wrap up here, honestly.
Yeah. So, Blackout.
Mhm.
Before we started, what was your general rating for Insect Girls, and what would your waifu rating be?
Do I have to give 3 scores for this?
I mean, we didn't start with the subsection, so not for the first bit.
For general, looking at a 3 or 4. Like, honestly, actually not even that. Probably a 2 or 3.
Damn.
It's very low, honestly. Like again, I'm very neutral to bugs.
Sounds like you're more negative than neutral.
No, that's just interest,
Okay, fair enough. Waifu rating.
not my knowledge. Yeah, waifu rating. Three or 4.
All right. My priors were actually general. An 8.
Mhm.
Waifu rating. A 3. Because
You don't want to get with the queen bee?
for a couple reasons, I must say no. Mostly because this was before we diluted the most dangerous aspects about them, like their venom and poison.
Alright, what's your rating now, then?
Let's see. For general, we kind of came up with a couple of cool things. Like, I like that we settled on a centaur, satyr, and flight class. So general went up a point, so 9-ish. Waifu rating, I'm gonna say, since we, like I said, we made them a lot less harmful.
Yeah.
I'm gonna up the waifu rating to a 5.
Alright. I'll say my scores have changed, and I'm just gonna do it like a solid 3 across the board.
Huh. I think this might be the first time your waifu score actually lowered after a debate.
What did I say? What, 3 or 4?
Yeah.
It wasn't a strong 3, honestly.
Fair enough.
If there was a range of the numbers, they were on the lower end. Like a 3.1.
Well, I don't really...
But, yeah. Alright, so I believe that's all for today's episode there. Yay!
Alright.
What are we doing next time?
We are planning, if that's still the plan, to do a tier list of all of our current subjects.
And we've got quite a variety to pick from.
I do think we're gonna need a little bit more prep time than usual to set things up for it.
I don't think we will, honestly. We
Probably.
can find a tier list maker somewhere.
Yeah. So, same time in 2 weeks.
Same time, 2 weeks.
All right.
Sign us out.
Okay. So, to everyone who's still in chat, once again, the guy to the left of me is Blackout.
Bye bye.
I'm Scamper Blaze. And one more question: would you waifu an insect girl? Now let's see who is online to. Ooh, wait, Lava is there.
Yeah, Lava's online. I was gonna say that when you were random.
Yeah.
By the way, would you waifu an insect girl?
Depends on the species, but I'm gonna go with a curiosity yes.
I think this is gonna be my first real no.
Acceptable. Let's see. Just making sure that all
Have we ever had a no before?
golems and constructs.
Do we even count them? Their episode got taken over by centaurs.
I know I had a no before with plants girls, but that was mostly because of hay fever.
Ah. No, that's my first real no. It's just not my aesthetic.
Yeah, so to everyone who's still in chat, thanks for dropping in, thanks for popping by. We're gonna yell objection at Lava. Bye-bye.